Hey everybody, I'm Danny Otto. Welcome into an all-new episode of That Recap Show. Now, before we get into the episode, just wanted to issue major spoiler alert. We are going to be going over everything that happened in episode 4 of season 2 of The Last of Us. So if you haven't watched that episode yet, you may want to pause this video, head over to Max, check out that episode, and then come back and enjoy the breakdown. Now, with that out of the way, let's start the show.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
All right, joining with me to break down everything from episode 4 of season 2 of The Last of Us, it's Jon Jon Rico.
Hey, it's me.
It's you. Whew. I'm all over the place. We are recapping a lot of stuff. We're talking about movies. We're talking about a bunch of series at the same time. It's everything.
Summer has begun.
Oh yeah. Man, we are in it. Look, I'm not complaining for the content that we've been getting because it's been awesome.
Yeah,
so far,
good stuff.
Everything has been great. So I am not complaining in that aspect. I'm complaining in the aspect of my brain is going in every different direction, following multiple storylines of multiple different projects at the same time. So.
Yeah, all with very different emotional vibes too.
Exactly.
The emotional roller coaster of it all too.
Absolutely. And look, kicking it. I mean, it's almost just as inexplicable as following multiple storylines is. I did not guess that we were going to have Josh Peck end up in an The Last of Us episode.
Yeah. First he shows up in Oppenheimer, and now he's showing up in Last of Us. Like, what are these random roles he's getting?
I do want to say this, though. The only criticism I have is they missed a huge opportunity to have another guy in the back of that truck be Drake Bell. Like... Could you imagine if they had them both together and that last shot before Isaac throws in the grenades is them two like hugging? Like, oh my God. That would have been a shot. That would have been a perfect shot. I will dare say that would have been a perfect cinematic shot to get Drake and Josh, reunited for a split second, hugging before they're inevitably blown up in the back of a truck.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe that he showed up. Like I of all the cameos that we could have got, I was not expecting that. But yeah, I didn't. I mean, for what his character was, I think he did it very well. He was like I guess a Fedra soldier who like just doesn't give a shit about other humans at this point. Like he's very jaded, and he played it very well. It was very believable.
Yeah, he definitely made me not feel bad when Isaac blew him all the hell up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that
guy.
Yeah, and the fact that Isaac basically, spared the one person who showed an ounce of questioning in the situation leads me to believe, yes, he was, he was begging for any of them to show a little bit of humanity before he blew any of them up. So
right.
Absolutely worked. But Rigo, what were some of your instant reactions for episode 4?
Yeah, this was a nice little kind of like return to form after we had like our moment of grief in the last episode. And we get a little mix of everything too. We get a really nice, like emotional touching scene. We get some good action involving some infected and stuff like that. And then we also get like some of the sadistic human side of the Last of Us world too, shown by our boy Isaac, who finally makes like his TV show debut here, and he definitely comes in with a bang for sure, literally speaking, because he blows up a whole truck full of people so casually. I just remember when he does that, I was just like, oh no, that's happening, and then like boom, it just explodes. Like damn, that's cold. And then he meets with Alana Ubach's character too, who was another actor I was very surprised to see too, and I'll get a little more into her when we talk about predictions and stuff, 'cause I'm excited to see more from her. But yeah, just from the way that he portrays his fellow federal soldiers to the interrogation scene with the Seraphite later on, when he's more in the modern day scene, was just like he's just a cold motherfucker too. And that same guy that he pulls out of the truck The way he's just kind of standing outside the door when he's doing the interrogation, just like he deserved it, with that like kind of just dead look on his face too. You could definitely tell that he's been through the ringer with Isaac, I guess, over these years too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of bring that character in there too, with new material for that character that wasn't in the game too, because we really only see him interacting with Abby too, and we don't really see him interact with Abby at all in this episode too. So,
So
it's
far,
an interesting way to introduce his character to the story overall. But yeah, man, more Jeffrey Wright is never something to complain about too, because he's just so captivating to watch anytime he's on the screen. And yeah, that was some really brutal stuff that he was doing on both, just like in the flashback sequence and in the modern day sequence. Like he just hasn't changed much at all.
Yeah. I mean, the one word to sum up the entire interrogation scene was just graphic. Like that's I literally, as that was happening, I was like, holy shit, this is graphic. Like and I was like, we even started talking about this before we started recording. We were both in the same mindset of, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see him burn anything beside the hands. Like just don't show me anything else being burned. Beside the hand was bad enough. Like watching that and then seeing the outcome on the top of the hand, and I just anyway. Yeah. Yeah, and it's really cool. Like we have this really unique situation where Jeffrey Wright, he did the character for the video game.
Yeah.
And now he's doing the live action version, and so it makes sense, and it feels right that they can explore different situations with him and give him more dialogue and give him expanded stuff in the universe, I guess, because it's the same person. It literally, like, if anyone has the right tone, the right mindset, the right everything to be able to kind of go off script from the video game, it's the actual person who voiced the character.
The character.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. Kind of like when they had Marlene in season 1 was the same thing, same voice actor who played the real life version of it too, and they killed it.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, it was really cool, and I'm looking forward to kind of, I don't know if I'm looking forward to seeing him do more things, but I'm looking forward to more Isaac stuff that's happening. But you want to get to some big takeaways?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna give up big takeaways, and look, I'm gonna use the word reveals, even though we kind of already knew both reveals, but they're in-universe reveals. We got two major in-universe reveals very close to each other in this episode, and the first being Ellie telling and showing Dina that she is immune to bites, basically at this point.
Right.
She not only telling her, but she had to actually show her and
well, it came out in a fight or flight moment, and she had to do what she had to do to save Dina, and like, yeah, it definitely created a little bit of a rift there for a second.
Yeah, which I mean is understandable.
Yeah, I just remember when we saw that. I saw that in the preview. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the moment where she has to like find out about it too.
Right.
They have a moment in the game too where like it's the moment where in the show it's Jesse and Ellie who are at Eugene's like little pot farm kind of area, and but that in the game it's her and Dina, and that's where she kind of like tells her that she's immune, but she doesn't really believe her. She just kind of brushes it off, and like now she kind of has to like see it face to face for the first time. So yeah, that was a pretty cool thing for her kind of confront.
Yeah, absolutely. And then within the span of a couple minutes, we get another in-universe big reveal, because like I said, we already as the audience knew this ahead of time. Dina reveals to Ellie that she is pregnant. Not only reveals but shows, because of all of the pregnancy
multiple tests that she took. Yeah.
which look, I get, like, in real life, that's a magical moment and everything like that. But they got pee on them. Like, they're just like waving them around and stuff, and she's got all of them in her hand and everything. Why do you have so many? Like, I get it. You tested as many as you possibly could, but just bring one. Yeah. But just bring one with you at that point. Like, she carried like 5 of them in her bag. Like, I get testing that many times, but once they're all positive, like, you could just take one. Just bring one with you. Just for sentimental reasons, bring one.
Gotta prove it to her as well.
I guess. But yeah, I mean, anyway, so yeah, those were kind of the two, I feel like, big episode reveals, in-universe big episode reveals that, have lasting effects, because we've already seen, Ellie, her mindset is now, I don't know if we can keep going because Dina's pregnant type of thing. So now we have some of like Ellie having some hesitation, I guess. Like we got to get towards the end of the episode, Ellie's like, you can stay here. Like I'll go to the building type of thing. Type of like, and so we're kind of seeing the in-universe effects of both of these reveals. And it's interesting to see how these are both going to play moving forward in the season. I'm interested to kind of see, because like we've said in the past, they are changing things, not changing things, but they're giving us different scenes. They're giving us different things to adapt it to, the TV show versus the video game. So I'm interested to see how these kind of two reveals are going to affect the TV show storyline moving forward type of thing. But Rico, what were some of your big takeaways?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the Dina being pregnant thing too, just present the whole liability that Ellie has to worry about too, because now she's not has to worry about the fact that they can work together, but she has to actually worry about protecting Dina and this an unborn baby now too. Yeah, so definitely creates a big hurdle for them to kind of overcome this journey too. And that's I'm definitely sure that's going to play some kind of a factor later on at some point too. I'm excited to see that. But man, my favorite scene of the entire episode to me is the take on me scene. Basically, first of all, I love that this episode, obviously the episode is titled Day One, obviously in reference to the game, it's being told in days, of course. And on day one, you kind of like explore this giant area of Seattle when you first get to the city. You kind of go like to multiple places and check out different little stores and stuff. And we see a lot of that stuff in the game too, whether it's the people hanging, I think it was the Seraphis people that got walked like that. You walk in on like a pretty gruesome scene like that, or you're going into like a drugstore, of course, where Dina gets the pregnancy tests and stuff like that. And then of course when you're wandering through all these stores, you never get led to a room that has a guitar in it, and you're like, oh, I have the option to pick up this guitar, and you start playing some notes, and then it'll lead you right into like this beautiful cutscene where again Ellie plays "Take on Me" for Dina, of course, and and it's beautifully well done by not just by Bella Ramsey as Ellie too, but actually Isabella Merced as Dina. The way that she's just kind of like looking at Ellie as she's playing it too. I think first of all, I said it last week too, but the Isabella Merced as Dina, I think it's just like such an improvement from the Dina in the game too. I just because of how much life she brings to the character, and just watching the way that she reacts to that whole the song at the end too was just like it was really powerful stuff. And obviously, it's like kind of the beginnings of like that little spark of that romantic relationship between them. I feel like, well, other than of course like the kiss at New Year's Eve, but like this is like where like those like true feelings I think are really starting to come out, and that's where it leads to them kind of sealing the deal there at the end of the episode too, after the whole reveal of her being pregnant and stuff like that, right? Just kind of like that emotional reaction, just kind of going after it. So yeah, I just like that whole thing, and just kind of like the presentation of their relationship overall. I think it's been really well done. Because again, in the game, it seems like because we get the dance scene as a flashback later on in the game. We don't really we see their relationship is already kind of established when we first see them. So it's kind of nice to see like the relationship build from the beginning into what it is now, as opposed to them just being already a thing. So yeah, I just think that's been a really well done aspect of the show that's been taken from the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, and I mean, I think there's been some conversations about this where like they, the reason that they're kind of building it the way that they're building it is because it's the difference between, how you can do a video game versus how you kind of need to do a TV show, because they can't expect everyone who's watching the show has played through the video game type of thing. Right. So like they kind of do need to do like what they did at the very beginning, where they kind of gave us a little bit of backstory about Abby type of thing before we got to the event with Abby killing Joel. And
even like they're doing with Isaac now. Like yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So it's giving context to characters before we get like the major events that we would have gotten in the video game type of thing, because it's kind of got to build like a TV show or like a movie or something like that. We're building a little bit differently. So it kind of keeps things interesting. Like we've kind of already said that. It kind of keeps things interesting because we know key events. We know that things are going to happen, but we don't know exactly how they're going to lead to them. We don't know exactly when chronologically they're actually going to happen, because some of those events were flashbacks versus now we're getting them in real time and stuff like that. So it makes everything more interesting, which is really cool. So you want to get to some predictions?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, why don't you kick off predictions?
Okay, so just based off of the episode preview that we got after the episode, of course, one thing that we were talking about last episode, of course, was the idea of the spores and how they haven't used them in the show yet. We've been using kind of like the cordyceps through the plants and stuff like that. That's kind of the way up there, like the infected way, like networking almost with each other, right? But not necessarily spreading the infection. But now we're kind of seeing like the first little introductions of spores into the show now too, which is obviously going to play a factor into some key moments from the game, of course, and it's going to matter at some point in the story as well.
Yeah.
But again, where we were just talking about kind of like this evolutionary aspect of the cordyceps and the infected and what they're doing. Obviously, we introduced the idea of the stalker in episode 1 too, and that's like their way of thinking, like, oh, they're getting smarter. So like the idea is that this infection is kind of evolving as the time goes on too at some point. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of see what the introduction of spores is going to lead to into different stuff in regards to the shows, the universe of the show, right? But another thing that was introduced in this episode, it's only really shown for in the beginning scene with Isaac is Alana Ubach's character. I can't remember her name right now, too, but she's basically the woman that Isaac meets. To basically like when he defects off of Fedra, right? But we see her in some of the previews for the next episode as well. Obviously, they still have some kind of relationship going, not like a romantic relationship, but some kind of like business relationship or whatever it is, revolving the wolves. Of course, I imagine she got to be like a high-ranking member of the wolves of some form. So yeah, I'm excited to see her in this in this kind of a show too, because I'm so used to seeing her in comedic stuff. Like obviously, the first thing I think of is the waitress from Waiting. Yeah, the angry waitress, and of course, Frank's girlfriend in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where she plays the prostitute, which is just really one of the funniest things. And of course, the Mom and Ted.
That's what I was gonna say.
The Mom and the Ted show too, where she's got some hysterical just clips of her in that show. If you're on TikTok, you probably stumbled across just probably a few clips of her just doing her thing there too. So yeah, she's just a really funny actress too. But to see her now in this more serious setting, I think is going to be really cool, because I think she'll be able to kind of balance more of the serious and the comedy aspect of it too. So yeah, I'm excited to see more of her in the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. She's been, great in everything she's done, and it's funny just sitting here and thinking about like her as the Mom and Ted and and just like trying to compare that to like her character in this, and like what we could potentially be getting with her in the next episode and stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of see how she's going to play that role and stuff like that.
Yeah, this show has done a really good job of like bringing in actors that are known for being comedic actors in some form, and they bring them into a serious role. We saw Nick Offerman in season 1, of course, best known as Ron Swanson. And then we're getting Catherine O'Hara in this as Gail this season 2, and then now we're getting Alana Ubach. So yeah, I just love that when we could see like the versatility of some of these like more comedically known actors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally there with you. The one thing I'm wondering, we kind of started talking about this before we really started the recording or anything, is I'm wondering, if and when they're going to start switching up to kind of Abby's point of view in this, because the game kind of switches back and forth, but we also kind of came up with a theory of what if, because we only have 3 episodes left, and then we were talking about this, there's going to be an episode that's going to be all flashback or kind of stand on its own.
Yeah.
So really, we only have 2 episodes of the main storyline going.
Right.
So what if, because they're splitting the game into 2 seasons, what if this season goes all the way up to an inevitable clash between Ellie and Abby, but all of this is from Ellie's point of view. And then the beginning of season 3 is starting off with Abby and kind of going through, at least the first episode or 2, going through the same timeline of what Abby was doing up until Abby and Ellie start clashing. And then it kind of cuts even like more so in between episodes, back and forth type of thing, to kind of fill in the gaps and stuff like that. That would be a very interesting way to do it. I just don't know how they're going to be pacing this. And that's kind of been our question from the beginning of episode, like from the first episode of season 2, was we don't know how they're going to space out this season and the second season with, you know, all covering one video game. So I'm interested to see, number one, the end point of this season. I'm still wondering, because there are a few moments that we know are going to happen that could be that cliffhanger moment to end the season, to kind of create like the oh shit type of thing, and then make you know, excited for next season. Yeah. There's multiple of those, and then there's really not a lot of time. Like like I said, 3 episodes left, 5, 6, 7, and then one of those we're guessing is going to be Eugene and some flashbacks. So then it's really 2 episodes of the main story. So to do one of those, jump to Abby, then jump back to something cliffhanger with Ellie would be kind of jumping around a lot.
Yeah, so, it's an interesting task that they have to tackle here.
Yeah, so I'm really interested to kind of see how they're going to play that out and how they're going to do that. I'm excited for, you know, some of the flashbacks and kind of getting, because I know I've seen some other scenes with Joel, which means we're going to revisit, you know, the time period.
Well, particularly with Eugene too, because we already know that has to happen. Yeah,
that definitely has to happen. But I'm along the same lines. You know, we're gonna see kind of what fills in the gap of why Ellie and Joel were kind of at odds at the beginning of episode 1.
There's a big moment there too. Yeah,
right. So we've got a lot kind of in flashbacks that we can get with Joel and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to get to in 3 episodes, or at least what they could get to, I guess, in 3 episodes. There's a lot. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, and yeah, I mean, we gotta get the spore reveal too. Like, that's happening before the end of the season. So there's so much.
There's so much they have to introduce, and then also like make sure they cover enough of the story to like they can progress nicely into this 3rd season. And yeah, who knows what they plan to fit in all in that 3 episodes.
Exactly that, and you have to end it on a cliffhanger, because you have to make people excited for what's going to happen next, type of thing. You know, like, it can't just, well, it's the end of the season 2. Stay tuned for season 3. Like, you can't just
end on a banger. For sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, there's a lot. There is a lot.
Excited.
Me too. But as we always say, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments below. What did you think of episode 4? And what do you think is going to happen still before the end of this season? And what pacing, like, wise, what are they going to do? Are we going to see, you know, some of these critical events with Ellie first, and then kind of revisit that timeline with Abby in the beginning of the next season? Or are they going to jump before the end of this season to Ellie, and then to Abby, and then back to Ellie? And it's gonna be interesting either way. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to hear about all of our latest audio and video podcast releases. Bye, everybody!
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.